Now, so going through those 3 steps, hopefully it will open up our mind. It will, of course, touch our hearts, but also allow us to change our will from the idea of that I would never want to take care of an orphan or a special needs child to possible. I'm starting to be open to the idea. I'm okay to fill out this application, and maybe, just maybe, I'm willing to go to the orphanage and meet my future son. I was talking to another brother in the church, and I told him that, hey, my wife and I have this small inclination, very small inkling of thinking about adopting. And he looked at me and he said, you gotta pursue it. The whole world is going to tell you, don't do it. But you gotta pursue it. Because that little inkling is not what Satan will want you to do. Now, this is not to say go ahead and be reckless and just continue to try to adopt. No, there is an entire process that you have to get your background check, your finances in order, you have to get a caseworker, you have to go before a judge. So there's definitely a due diligence, and you still have to persevere through a very, very lengthy process. But his encouragement was to give each one of us courage to realize that the gospel has compelled us to do these things. That it will sustain us in the application process. And it will continue to allow us to be on display as a city on a hill, as a light on the hill. There's this one quote from George Shaw. He says, you see things and you say, why? Why would people adopt a special needs child? But he goes on to say, but I dream things that never were. And I say, why not? I hope each one of us can reflect and think about, why not? Why not have the chance to bring a child home, to foster them, to care for them, to love them, to be able to disciple them for the rest of their lives? Yes, it's going to be extremely difficult. On average, my wife and I would take our son to the hospital over 100 times per year. 100 medical visits per year for occupational therapy, physical therapy, dental, vision, every regular checkups. Of course, when he falls and scrapes his knee. But why not? I constantly ask my wife. I can't recall the time before we adopted our special needs son. I can't recall what we were doing before. We worked, we shopped, we went out to eat, and our schedule was pretty much just for ourselves. And of course, we did some ministry work. We went out to feed the homeless, or we led Bible studies. But even though our schedule is so much more full now, because we have to take care of our son, every single night I go home and I count my blessings. I know that my son's waiting in the room to see me, to be able to do family time. To be able to say, what is our happy moment today? And what is our unhappy moment? And many, many times when I go home, I share my happy moment. The happiest moment of today is to be able to see my son and to give him a kiss on the forehead and be able to say goodnight. So you see, there's a lot of people that's going to say why. I ask each one of us to pray and discern, why not? So this was the result. After a full year of application, my son is now 6 years old, and we were able to bring him back to the U.S. and it's been quite a journey to continue to encourage our son to read the Word, to grow up in the knowledge of Him. But I cannot say I regret it. I cannot even think about what life would be like without him. And so just want to share that one story and our process. I know there's many people in the room that have loved and served different ministries of the church. We just want to share our story. At TEF, some of us are going to bring children into our homes. the rest of us are going to find ways to serve and support them. That's my prayer for the church. At TEF, some of you guys are going to bring orphans into your homes, and the rest of us are going to find ways to serve and support them. That truly it takes a village to raise these children. And so, what are different ways that we'll be able to serve? Well, everyone can do something. We're not all called to do the same thing, but we're certainly capable of doing something. So for some of us, they can start with prayer. They could be providing some simple house cleaning, some grocery shopping, donating some supplies, bringing meals. There's a lot of meals and a lot of diapers, so just between those two things, there are a lot of people that can care and help. You can attend appointments. I can testify that sometimes when you go to those appointments, it could be a little nerve-wracking. And so if a sister can go with another mom or another brother can go with another brother to the medical visits, it's just that much better to have a moral support there. There's babysitting, transportation, there's providing financial resources, and also respite care. There's so many different ways to get involved in orphan care. And it's up to each one of us to ask ourselves, who are we in Jesus? What needs are around us? What has the gospel compelled each one of us to do?